What is up, YouTube? We are back, Sonic King Fit, and I'm back with a monumental video. So first off, let me get right into it. I'm not going to waste any time. I know you guys are here to see gains. You guys are here to see progress. This is the Titan routine. I decided to do it again because I took it down because of the copyright, because of the music in the background. So we muted the sound, and now you're just going to get my commentary so it won't be flagged by YouTube. And I definitely wanted to do this routine again. I've been wanting to do it. So we went ahead and did it because I wanted you guys to see that, in my opinion, of all the routines that I've done, all the exercises I've done, this is probably the best routine to do on a regular basis. And I don't care if you're trying to get in shape. I don't care if you are in shape. I don't care if you're, in decent shape. I don't care if you're in perfect shape. This routine will help your body become stronger. You will build muscle and you will build endurance. So the Titan routine, as you're watching it now, this is the first set. It's 1 rep of press, and it's a heavy rep for strength. And then it's 10 pull-ups for hypertrophy. And then it is 20 push-ups. And you see me right there doing the push-ups for decline, and that is for endurance. Now, it's working my shoulders in every way possible, because 1 rep of press will work your shoulders and your triceps and your core and your back, amongst other things, because it does a lot for your body. But the push-ups are working my shoulders as well, because I'm doing a decline. Now, you can do your push-ups how you want to do them. I'm just choosing to do decline because they're a lot harder to rep. And so the Titan routine is a routine that I put together about a month ago, or maybe a couple weeks ago, that I was just thinking about, what can I do to really try to let people know, if you really want to take your body to that level, or if you want to see where your body is when it comes to endurance, strength, and hypertrophy. This is the routine that will do it. So the Titan routine is a routine that you have to do for 20 minutes straight. It doesn't matter the reps. Now, I did 10 sets, but it took me 25 minutes to do it. But there's no break. So that's what makes it so challenging, right? Because when you're working out, obviously we all take breaks, because it's so hard to keep the intensity up with the pump going that you feel like you just have to get a breather in. So that's why I put this routine together, because I wanted to push my limit, which you guys already know at this point. I tend to do that, push limits. If you want to take your body to that limit, you've got to take your mind there first. And so coming up with a routine like the Titan is, in every way possible, pushing your limits. Now, I just came up with the Titan. In my opinion, you're a Titan if you can do this routine. It's not an easy routine to do for 20 minutes. I'm doing 10 pulls every single set for 10 sets. That's 100 pull-ups. So folks, okay? So this is not a routine, in my opinion, for beginners. If you want to try to do this routine at a beginner level, I would suggest you using a lat pull-down bar, okay? That's just to kind of get you started. And, when you're ready to get to the pull-ups, then, give yourself a chance, but be honest with yourself. If you don't think you can hit 10 sets of pull-ups without stopping, 20 sets of push-ups, and 1 rep of press continuously, I don't want you to hurt yourself. This is a routine that's really going to take a whole lot, of fortitude and determination. And it takes even more than that. You got to just have the strength and raw power to be able to do something like this for 20 minutes. So what I'm trying to say is, don't risk your health trying to prove yourself with a routine like the Titan. Okay, that's why I call it the Titan. This is for Titans. If you're a Titan, then go for it. If you're trying to become a Titan, maybe you want to start out at a lower level, maybe just 5 sets in a row or 3 sets. Because you're going to find yourself that trying to hit this many sets and reps in a row is almost, you're going to kill yourself. But if you're there, see where you're at. Go for it. Put your mind and your body to the test. And of course, I wanted to put it out again because YouTube had flagged it. And so I decided that I would put this video together along with a couple other things because recently we hit a couple monuments, and there's 185 going up right there. And I'm gonna talk about it at the end of this video, because I do a pump reveal, and you guys know what I've been doing with that. So just stay tuned for that. But as of recently, if you've been following what I've been doing for the contest with Rip Right, I'll talk a little bit about that as well. The 10 pulls, 10 dips, 10 push-ups for 5 sets, settle it on the bars with Rip Right. He came down to Houston and I went there and competed. And I think I had one of the top times. So the next round, he's already informed me that the next round will be done via video recording. So we'll have to submit our video recording of the routine that he's already submitted and let us know what we'll have to do. Now, I'm not in yet, okay? He says that we're right now, he's done 3 cities. He's done Houston, he's done Miami, and he's done, he hadn't done Miami. He had done Houston, he's done Atlanta, and he's done New York. So he went ahead and told us that we're probably going to get in based on what he's already seen. And I think he says that because he did New York. And New York probably had most of the competitors that are going to make it in there. So if you're in there from the New York battle, you're likely going to be in. So that does make me feel good, knowing that, because a lot of these guys from New York are kind of calisthenic kings, and they kind of do this on a daily basis. So the fact that I'm in conversation with these guys makes me feel good that I got a good shot here. But the routine that we'll be doing to make the final, if I make the top 50, assuming that I do, is 25 muscle-ups and 100 push-ups. Now, some of you may be wondering, how does the routine have to go? And I did the same thing. I wondered, I said, hey, how do we got to do the routine? So he just basically, instead of answering a bunch of questions, he sent us a video of him doing the routine. So guess what? We got to do all the muscle-ups first. 25 muscle-ups, and they got to be clean. If you guys can muscle up, and you know what a clean muscle-up is, you know what I'm talking about. No dirty muscle-ups. No chicken wings. No super kipping muscle-ups. So I got to clean up my kipping muscle-ups. Sometimes I have kipping muscle-ups. I got to clean that up. And then 100 push-ups. And he's going to, in the fastest 8 times, get in. It's just that simple. It makes it really simple. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. And we have the submission time deadline by August 30th, 2025. So right now, it's getting close, very close to the end of July. So I got about a month to prepare. So I'll be ready, and I will continue to work out. As you guys can see me in this video here, you know, I'm pushing my limits each and every day. And so in a little bit, you're going to see me push my limits to I've never seen before. So we're constantly making gains. We're constantly pushing our limits. We're constantly just trying to, I'm getting the information out there to you guys, man. You don't have to pay for training. If you just see some of my videos, watch some of my content, and do some of my workouts, you'll find your body just doing the same thing. Your body will grow. You'll get stronger. You'll build muscle. You'll build endurance. And this is what you want your body to be. You know, you want your body to be everything you've wanted it to be, but you haven't got it yet. So don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on me. I want to see you guys succeed in this endeavor. And I think we're in maybe the 4th or 5th set of the Titan routine at this point. So I think around 6 or 7, I decided to go up in the weight. So I guess you could kind of say that was a bit of a break. You know, I think I spent an extra 30 to 60 seconds getting the weights racked and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, technically I didn't stop or slow down when it comes to me just keeping the reps going. Now, I got the best camera angle I could, where I could get the pull-ups, the press, and the push-ups. I didn't want to go too high, because then I wouldn't have been able to get the push-ups, and I didn't want to go too low, because then I wouldn't have been able to get the pull-ups or the vertical press all the way. So this is the camera angle that I shot. And you know, when you're doing this stuff live, you don't sit back and think, okay, just the best camera angle. You just think, well, this is what I got to work with. And I tried to get a couple shots that I thought were effective, but I couldn't get all 3 unless I took something similar to this shot. So this is what we wound up doing. And if I had went any further back, you're looking at the screen. If I had went to the left, I would have been in kind of somebody else's space, because there was a guy in the video, as you see me pressing, in my right, but in the camera it's to the left. He's working out, and so he was doing a lot of I want to say dumbbell kettle swings and some farmer's carries, and I was kind of pressing his space a little bit, so I didn't want to be taking too much of his space. So this is the best camera angle I could come up with, and try to turn it as most effective as I could to get the reps. So, this is what it turned out to be. So, when you're doing this stuff, you never know what kind of obstacles you may face. So we got the best shot we could, but you guys seen me doing enough pull-ups, so my pull-ups are pretty clean. My push-ups are solid as well, and you guys seen me do millions of presses, so it's no big deal to see me do the same things over and over. These exercises, compound movements only, and I'm a big advocate of that when it comes to working out. I never do isolation movements, especially since we're strapped for time in this day and age. A lot of people like to do isolation, but I don't waste any time with it at all. So compound only, and that's what gets the job done. And one thing you'll notice about compound movements, when you're looking at guys' aesthetics, physique, if they do compound, a lot of times people like myself and other guys, you can tell they do compound because our bodies look very similar. When you look at our shoulders and you look at our triceps and our biceps, all those muscles in our arms look very proportionate, and they look very similar in just about every way. So keep that in mind when you're doing your exercises of what you want your body to look like when you're working out. If you're doing a lot of isolation, you're focusing mainly on tricep isolation and activation, or whatever you're doing, your body's not going to look symmetrical. You want it to look symmetrical when you work out. And so that's why another reason why I'm a big advocate of compound movements, because your body grows symmetrically. So in other words, my body doesn't grow out of proportion. It grows within proportion. When my shoulders, when my delts grow, my triceps grow. Right? When my chest grows, my back grows. And that's kind of what the exercises that I do. They do that. When I do bench, any form of bench, whether it's decline or incline, occasionally I'll do flat. But when I do bench, it works the tricep, it works the chest, and it works the delts. And it works my back, works my lats. When I do that, those muscles all grow at once. So if you're always doing isolation, if you're working, I'm going to just do back, this is my back day, that's fine. You can do back day. I'll do back day, shoulder day, chest day, tricep day, bicep day, all in the same day, because the exercises I do work all those muscles when I'm working out. Pull-ups work your back and biceps. Push-ups work your chest and triceps. Press overhead works your triceps, upper chest, and your delts, and your core, and your back a little bit when you're talking about your lats. And so that's 3 exercises that's working virtually every muscle group in my upper body. And I'm only done 3. We haven't got to bench. Works my triceps, works my delts, works my chest, depending on the variation. So that's why I'm a big proponent of compound movements, because you have to do, even though it's more work, it's more beneficial work. Now, when you're doing compound movements, keep in mind, people that can't do compound movements is because they don't do compound movements. They don't work out using compound movements for their body. So like, if you're constantly doing tricep push down, or you're constantly doing, what do they call those, overhead extensions and stuff like that, those are, ideally those are like isolation movements. So they're single muscle movements. They're working one muscle group, right? So it's going to be harder for you to hop on a bench and move some weight when ideally you just work one muscle group. Now you go from 1 to 4. And so it's a little bit different when you hit a compound movement like bench press or something like that. So things are, you have a lot of moving particles, or I shouldn't say moving particles. It's a lot of movement going on in your body. And so for me, I like to always have the compound movements. It just makes it better. And your body grows. And honestly, compound movements make you stronger faster. And that's just the bottom line. If you don't know that about working out, then you should start to implicate that in your workouts, that compound movements make you stronger faster. So I'm always be a compound movement guy. I'm always going to be a barbell guy. It's just because those two elements about working out make you stronger faster. So just keep that in mind when you're working out and when you're doing your thing at the gym. If you want to get gains, you got to go through the pain of trying to get gains, and to do that, you got to go compound, and you got to go sometimes superset, giant set. You got to push your limits, and if you want to get the gains that you've always wanted that you haven't been able to get, you just got to be willing to push your limits, and that's just the bottom line with all this stuff. Your results are going to be your effort. If you're not putting in the effort, don't expect the results. I see some of the same people that I've been going to the gym with for 3 years, and my body has dramatically changed, and theirs has stayed the exact same. Yet they've been just as consistent as I have, but yet their body doesn't reflect the results that they've been wanting. So keep that in mind, folks, when you're working out, man. What are you after? What do you want? What's your goals? And what are you willing to do? Because at the end of the day, that's truly what matters, is what you're going for. So I want to be as strong as possible as I can be. Like I said, we're still trying to get to that 405 bench, and we made some massive improvements going into this week, especially into this video. And you guys are straight ahead. You're going to see them here in a little bit, and I want you guys to actually just sit back and take it all in with me, because for me, it's just, you work so hard to just hit a single rep at a certain exercise, that when it actually happens for you, it's just everything, it just feels like it's so exhilarating to actually feel it, then go back and replay it, look at it, and see everything you did. It's just great to see it, man. So it's just, for me, I'm just so excited that the fact that I can actually do these things, record them, put them out there. You guys can check it out. And you guys know I'm natural. I don't take pre-workout. I don't take creatine. No gear. This is all grind and just hard work, routines, and nothing's changing. Good meals, good meal prepping. I shouldn't say meal prepping. I don't do any meal prepping. I never really dived into my diet, but I'll dive into it today. I eat a lot of ground beef. That's probably my main source of protein. And if you don't know about ground beef, it does apparently has a different form of creatine in it. So, and I hardly ever work out on an empty stomach. But surprisingly, this workout right here, we're watching right now, I did it on an empty stomach. The whole thing. Now, I typically don't do that, but I have done it in the past. Because when I first began to work out, I always wanted to have more energy, so I wanted to be as light as possible. But as you get stronger and as you build muscle, for me, I began to like the fact that I would come into the gym after a full meal. I liked it. I liked how I felt going into it. I liked how I felt while I was working out. And I felt stronger as I would work out because I was already satisfied with food. And like some of the things you may have heard on the internet, eat one ingredient foods. When I eat a hamburger, the only thing that's in a hamburger is the ground beef and the fixings. So like the tomatoes, the pickles, the lettuce, the onions. That's it. I don't put any cheese on it. You can put cheese on it if you want, if you like to do stuff like that, but I don't do that. I eat it the way it is. So, and when I eat chicken, typically mashed potatoes, some kind of green, so either broccoli or some spinach or maybe both, some mushrooms, stuff like that, man. Single ingredient items to where you're eating real food. I'm not eating, I don't do the protein shakes. It's too many ingredients in that stuff, man. I don't do it. So, real food, fruits and vegetables. I love eating my fresh fruit, berries, bananas, peaches, oranges, grapes, watermelon, cantaloupe. I mean, I can go on forever. Pineapple. I'm a big fan of pineapple. I love pineapples. I love the flavors of pineapples. Anything that's really, really delicious. So, but some of the things that I've had to eliminate, even though I love them and they're not so much healthy, it's just like it's my little treat to reward myself, is cookies. I love cookies. And I know a lot of people like the Oreos, but they're so loaded with so much artificial sugar. Like, I get a sugar crash from it, so I had to stop eating the Oreos. Because I love Oreos. But I had to let them go. They weren't good for me. Even just one would cause my blood pressure and my glycemic index to rise. So I know we all have our struggles. You know, some people like to have a drink. You know, if you want to drink, or people like to drink on the weekend. I completely put drinking down. I didn't think I needed it anymore. Plus, it was actually holding me back in the gym. So I came to the conclusion that I didn't want that a part of my life anymore. I eliminated that. But everybody has something that they're struggling with. So just bear in mind, if you're going to struggle with it, or if you just have the struggles to not handle it, you want to minimize it. Minimize it till you can get a handle on it. That's probably the most important thing if you really want to try to continue to build at the gym. Because if you're unable to minimize it, it'll hold you back from the success that you're trying to gain. And sometimes it's more than food. It can be the people that you associate with. That can be a huge problem if you're trying to find success with your physical journey and your mental journey when it comes to your physical fitness. You know, sometimes we have relationships in our life that just aren't what they were, and we're afraid to let go. You know, people say, like, some people are in our life for seasons at a time, which is true. But there's also people that have been in our life for years, and we know that, man, this relationship isn't where it needs to be. And y'all know what I'm talking about. You've done everything to make the relationship great, but the person that is in the relationship with you, whether it's, you know, a spouse or a friend or family member, they haven't done anything to try to improve their relationship with you. And they haven't done anything to try to improve their relationship with themselves. So sometimes it's that relationship that can be holding you back, or the person that's trying to get mentally better in their life. I hope you guys understood that. It can be the person that's in your life that you know is like causing you to be held back. And that's the reason you're not progressing the way you want to be, because sometimes we're just unwilling to let certain relationships go, or we don't know how to handle a relationship with somebody we've known for a long time. But all you can do if you can't do it is continue to just strive to be you, strive to be great. And if they're just not progressing in their life and in relationships with people and trying to be positive or whatever, then you've got to just still maintain a good relationship, or try to maybe distance yourself just a little bit so you can create more positive relationships in your life. And I know that's tough to say, and it may be even tough to hear, but sometimes things got to be said so people can progress. And it's not easy to do those things, you know? When you wake up in the morning, if you have 5 or 6 things you know you need to do every single day, and at every single day you only do 2 of the 3, then you know you got work to do, because you're supposed to get 5 to 6 things done every day that you say you're going to do. So it's a struggle, man. And so things like this routine, no doubt, is a struggle, but mentally, it helps me keep progressing to try to be the best version of myself, because the stuff that I feel like I do, that I come up with, I know it's hard for anybody else to even do it once. And, you know, I don't really, you know, kick shouts out or whatever, but I'll do it this one time. He's a guy out of New York, and I worked out with him about 7 months ago in November. His name is, he goes by the name Akeem Supreme, and really inspiring person, man. He really was. First of all, this guy is 6'3" and about 35 pounds on a regular basis. Now, I'm 6'5" and I'm 220, and I'm pretty sized up. He's 6'3", 230, 235 easily. And he handles himself so well, so professional. He has this menacing look, but when you talk to him, it's all about just pushing your limits and just getting past the pain. So we completed the routine. But anyway, you guys check out Akeem Supreme on his page, and even a video we did, and you can go check that video out on J. Joe Fit's channel, JJOEFIT. We did a video with him. Phenomenal video we did. It was a workout. We did some pressing, we did some pull-ups, we did some muscle-ups, and J. Joe Fit did some squats. And we did some more push-ups. We did some incline benching. I mean, we just took it all the way. It's one of my best videos that I'd done at the time with him and J. Joe Fit as well. But it was a real pleasure to have him there. He came in from New York and worked out with us. We worked out again the second time, but the first time was very honorable by him to spend his workout day with us. So check out that video if you get a chance at J. Joe Fit's page, JJOEFIT. But yeah, we're going to move on to the incline benching. After we completed the Titan routine, we took like a 5-minute break and we went and set up over here at the bench. Now, you guys have seen me do incline bench a few times. Might be the third or fourth video that I've recorded incline benching. And the reason why I'm doing incline benching, because incline benching will overall increase any level of benching that you do. Okay. Now, I got super strong through decline, and a lot of people like to say what they're going to say and think decline is overrated or underrated or not an effective movement. But really, it's all about your form. That's number one. If you have good form when you lift the bar, the exercise is going to take care of itself. But if your form is not very good, you may try to blame it on the exercise. Oh, this exercise isn't effective. Well, what does your form look like? Because you can see my form in this video right here with 265, that's good form, right? That's good form. You see that bar hitting my clavicle every time. You're supposed to have good form in these exercises. I'm not going to call out what I see out on the internet a lot of, where guys are trying to get credit for doing certain types of reps on bench. But if you see clean form, just be willing to credit somebody for clean form. Because it's not very easy to have clean form on the bench, especially the heavier you go. So when you see clean form, I just tell people to applaud when you see clean form, because that's not easy to do. That's number one. So now we're up to 275. Now, I didn't see how many reps I did on the 265, but I feel like I did about 5. I have to go back and check, but we'll see. Maybe 6, I don't know. But I expected to do 5 right here on the incline. So as I'm going into this set, I feel really, really, really good. My back is sitting flushed against the pad. And when I lifted off, once I hit the first rep, I knew I had at least 3 more. So, word to the wise, guys. If you know you got a good rep on your first set, don't think anything less for the number that you think is coming into your head about what you want. If you think after the first rep you've got 4 more, then go for 4 more. Right? Go for 4 more. Because the heavier the bench, or the heavier the barbell, you know you don't have as many reps. So when you get to 1 and you hit the first set and you want to try to go for 6, go for 6. Just keep that in mind. Don't underestimate yourself if you feel good about it. So we went up again, 295. And I was just like, I could go for 2, but I think I just wanted to do 1 to see how it felt. I think you guys seen me do 295 before. I'm not sure. But 295 on an incline, I was feeling pretty good. I was feeling pretty confident about the 295. So 295 is, you're right at the the 300. You're right there at the 300 amount on the weight, that threshold. Felt good, got it, no problem. At that particular point, I felt it was time to do it, man. I think it was time to do it. So we went for it. See the third plate going on. And I was just like, you know what? They say it's either now or never. But for me, it's just like, why not? I'm already 46 years old, so why not? Why not push my limit when I feel like I can do it? I went and got a spot, my guy right there in the back. Once I feel like I may not get a lift, I just go get a spot to be sure. But I never, ever want anybody to lift it off for me or help me lift it off, because I already feel strong enough to get that. So we were sitting at 315, and right here, almost stalled out. And that's when everything just came together. So we got the 315. We got that done. And once again, guys, when you push your limits, you're going to get some results. Right there, you see me getting on the floor because I was pushing so hard with my left leg that I felt it begin to cramp. So I was trying to stretch out my hamstring because my left leg was really, really tightening up from that push. But we got it done. We got it done. And so that is an all-time high for me, 315 on the incline. That's something I thought I would probably never, ever get. But as of today, I've gotten it. And as of yesterday, I got it again. I didn't record it, but I've gotten it twice now. I didn't record it. And it was even cleaner than that one. So we're definitely getting there, and we're getting stronger. So if you're really trying to get your numbers up on the bench press, you need to subscribe to this channel, right? Because I'm not just doing this for myself. I'm giving you guys the blueprint on how to do it. And that's if you have limited equipment. Guys, I'm not doing this with like a Buffalo bar or any of those other bars that those guys you see on YouTube that have their program set up. I'm doing this with just strictly gym equipment. I'm not doing anything extra. I'm using like 6 exercises and eating right and spending time in the sun. That's all I'm doing. I'm doing bench. I'm doing pull-ups. I'm doing push-ups. I'm doing vertical press. I'm doing rowing. I'm doing muscle-ups. That's about it. That's all I'm doing. And I'm eating right. I just started adding more dips, though. I'll say that. Starting to do about 50 to 100 dips a day. And not just the straight bar dips on top of a muscle up, but just your typical parallel bar dips. So I've definitely seen a difference with the dips. So definitely gotten stronger with that. So that I have to give credit there. I think the dips have probably added to that 315 incline or that real heavy press. And, the goal here for me right now, one of my main goals, my number one goal right now is the 225 overhead vertical. And still haven't quite got there yet, but somehow I hit a 315 incline. So go figure. It's just the work you got to put in, man. We're still on that 405 flat bench, and I think we're going to get there. It's just, you got to keep working, man. So that's the cool down set. The 275 went back down to 2. I think I did 2 to 3 reps or whatever it was. So we're just constantly just pushing our limits and just trying to grow and taking our mind and our body to that next tier, man. It never stops. Now, since I'm at 315, my next goal, I'll try to make it 335 on the incline, which will be incredibly hard. Even though it's just another 20 pounds, I'm telling you, that's hard. So nothing ever stops. We only progress. We only get better. We only get bigger. We only get stronger. And we only keep pressing our limits. The next recording I'll probably do will be the 25 muscle-ups and 100 push-ups. We're going to train for that, so you guys are going to start seeing a lot more videos with me doing muscle-ups and weighted muscle-ups and weighted pull-ups, because I want to be able to literally hit the 25 muscle-ups in a row. I don't know if anybody's done that many or how often people can do that. It's a lot harder to hit that many reps.
YouTube, it's your boy, man. Back with another video.
And we hit some milestones today. First of all, I want to congratulate you, the subscriber. We hit 1,000 subscribers today, technically. It happened around midnight, 1 o'clock. I was tracking it. So it did happen. I'm not sure what today is. I think today is the 19th of July, 2025. So thank you for all the subscribers. And we're going to dive off into that later because I got so much I want to talk about as far as where I was to where I am now. But I did work out today. You know, I didn't let the fact that I hit 1,000 subscribers tell myself I needed to celebrate because there's still more work to do. You know, I got new equipment that I'll be using, so try to get better quality. Still got more milestones to hit, but we did hit a couple milestones today. We hit a 315 incline, so I am so excited, elated, and I did not even feel good going into it. But when you put your mind to something and everything lines up to do it, you don't hesitate. And so that's what I did. And with everything on the line, it didn't feel good coming off the bar. And when I started pressing it up, I almost gave into it, but I just kept pressing and we got it. So make sure you check that out. I'm gonna probably put that on the end of this video. And I did the Titan routine again today. That's probably what helped me do that 315 incline. I did the Titan routine. I did it for 10 sets straight. We started at 185, did it for 6 sets, maybe 7, and then the last 3 we did it at 195. If you don't know what the Titan routine is, it's 1 rep of press, heavy rep. Whatever your heavy rep is, it doesn't have to be your heaviest, just a heavy rep. A rep you know you can do, but sometimes it gives you trouble. And for me, that starts at 185. Vertical press, 1 rep. Then you got 10 pulls. Then after that, you got 20 pushes. Now I did my pushes on decline. So I elevated my feet and did 20 pushes per set for decline for 10 sets. And I did it on repeat. So there's no break in the Titan routine. The last time I put it out, I had to take it down because of copyright. Probably have to go through my page and just check out some more, see what else they got me copyrighted for so I can get that down. But I'm gonna put this one out. The sound won't be good because I don't want the music in the background. I don't want YouTube to flag it. So we did 10 sets. If you can do 10 sets or more with a press, 10 pulls, and 20 pushes, you're a Titan. That's how hard it is. It's an endurance routine that requires you to get stronger through the routine. That's how hard it is. And that's what I think was the key allowing me to be able to do an incline bench of 315 today. Because I felt stronger in other days and was not able to do a heavier push at 315 when I thought I would do it. But today, not only did I do it from the Titan routine, I did it fasted. And I'm not advising anybody to do anything fasted. I'm not saying you can't get stronger, you can't get gains fasted, but usually when I work out heavy and I work out with weights and I do my calisthenics and I go hard, I got food in my stomach 100% of the time. Today, nothing. All you saw me do was drink water, and I don't know if I drank the water, and the apple juice. That was it. So, thank you for the subscribers. We want to keep the subscribers coming, so you guys subscribe to the channel. And of course, when you check out this workout, like the video. This is probably one of my best workouts, and I wasn't even expecting to do this good. When I got here, I did not feel like I was going to go hard. I did not feel like I had it in the tank today. But when you're willing to push your limits, when you're willing to give it all you got, this is not my best workout. I realized that today, but yet I still hit some milestones. I hit 265 for 6. For me, I was only expecting to do a 5, and when I did the 265 for 6, I knew I pushed my limit already. So just check out the video, man. I'm gonna put the video on the back of this one. But of course, I definitely want to talk to you guys about something else real quick. So we'll set the camera down. And oh, I forgot to do a pump reveal. I'm tripping. And so yeah, We're feeling pretty good. It could have came from yesterday with the rows too. I did a heavy set of rows, so I knew my back was feeling really good. And not just that, on the last set where I went for the 315, I was doing my pull-ups in between sets. And for the last set, I did behind the neck. Now, I'm not saying that was the reason I was able to do it. I certainly felt better going into it. So you never know. You just have to just put the pieces together and hopefully everything fits. And today it came together. So very grateful for every day, of course, of subscribers. And I want to talk to you guys about 5 things that I want to help you guys to actually make your YouTube page a success. Okay, that's what we want to talk about here. Looks like I have to do it like this. Sorry about this. So, 5 things I want to talk about that will help your page become a success, and it's also going to get your body the way you want it. Is number 1, don't be scared. Guys, when I first started this YouTube, I was so nervous. I didn't even know what to say. I was sitting behind my camera. I've got maybe 20 videos I've deleted off my page. It was so embarrassing at the time. And I didn't know how to just respond to an audience or just be myself. So try not to be scared when you start this YouTube page, okay? If you're thinking about what do you want to find as your niche, something you have to be passionate about. That's the second thing. If you're passionate about it, then it probably will work. You just got to stick to it. Now, I haven't really gotten to the monetization yet. I still got to get my hours. And that's up to you guys to watch my videos. So I got to put out more quality and keep you guys connected to me. So the third thing I want to say is, if it's fitness, make sure you're doing exercises that are not just effective for you, but they're effective for others, and they won't cause the injuries that people have to endure. When I tell people to beware of the bench, it's not that the bench press doesn't work, it's just that it can cause some injuries. Okay? The bench press is notorious for getting people hurt. You guys have seen the same videos that I've seen that we're scrolling and we're thumbing through. You're seeing guys hurting their shoulders, you're seeing guys tear pecs, you're seeing guys tear biceps, you're seeing guys tear shoulders. You're seeing the same, it's all happening, most of it's happening on the bench press. So be careful on what you're promoting. I'll promote the bench press, but I'll also let people know, beware, okay? This is why it's important to do your calisthenics. You gotta do your calisthenics, your push-ups and pull-ups, basic calisthenics that are effective so you can handle a bench. But by far, more important than anything, when it comes to working out, is knowing the most effective exercises. Now I say push-ups and pull-ups, they are two of the most effective. But you gotta understand, those are 2 basic movements that we use. In my opinion, I'm not saying that they're not, you can use them to exercise, but you also want to use those to warm up. Push-ups and pull-ups are good to warm up. 3 or 4 sets of those. Guys, I'll do 40 or 50, maybe even 100 pull-ups just to warm up. Just to get my body warm, get my muscles loose. You're like, man, 100 pull-ups is a lot. It sounds like a lot, okay? But when you're trying to build a body, you want your muscles to be able to move freely. You want to be able to be in touch with your physique as much as people see it and, admire it. When I do my pulls, I know how good my form is going to be by the first or second pull. I already know. That's how you want to be. So maintain the integrity that you're trying to put out in your content, in your workouts. I hope that makes sense. And then the next thing I want to say, find something that's hard for you and try to endure it. And for me, that's the sauna. It's hard for me to go in there. It's hard for me to keep going in there. Now, I'm to the point now, the first 10, 15 minutes, I'm looking forward to it, just a chance to relax. But after about 20 minutes in the sauna, when it's really hot, I'm ready to go. And sometimes I still got like another 15 minutes. So it's tough for me to endure that. But it also helps me mentally to tell me that I can keep going. That's how I got to 1,000 subscribers with these videos. I just kept going. So you gotta find something that works for you, inspires you, and helps inspire others. That'll help build your YouTube page. That'll also help you gain followers. That'll also help you build great content. And don't be scared to like interact with people, even though you may not like find certain people in your community or whatever you're recording likable. You know, there's all types of walks of life of people out there, so you have to figure out a way to work with them. Even if they're not willing to, find something for them to connect to. Because your YouTube page at the end of the day is really not about you. It's about the people you're connecting to. That's what I've learned so far. Yeah, everybody's seeing me develop this great body and do things in the gym that are just incredible or whatever, but it's, people see it and they want to admire it and they want to be able to connect to it so they can do it. So even though I'm building my body to be the best I can be, you guys see it and you want to see, okay, he's doing X, Y, and Z to get there. That's why I want you to subscribe. Because if you subscribe, you'll see X, Y, and Z actually work. They actually work. You saw me do the press, you saw me do pull-ups, you saw me do bench, you saw me do rows, you see me do all these exercises. Now you're about to see me do a 315 bench. Guys, there was a point in my physical fitness that I couldn't even bench press 95 pounds less than 4 years ago. My shoulders were so bad. I was in so much pain. Couldn't even do 95 pounds. Now we're doing incline and I got it at 315 today. So the journey's real. The journey is real. The work is real. The willingness is real. Pushing your limits is real. You just gotta be willing to do it. The first thing you gotta be willing to do is put down these excuses and say, man, I'm gonna just start. And just start. Everything starts with your push-ups, then get to the pull-ups. If you can't do the pull-ups, get to the lat pull down or / inverted rows. If you can, once you're able to do those, maybe then you're ready for some seated cable rows, right? So now, if you're trying to get your body right, you've done those exercises, you should be at the cables. The cables after a while should get easy. Once you can do a lat pull down with your own body weight or close to it, you're ready for a pull-up bar. I'm dead serious. Don't waste any more time on a lat pull down bar. I'm not saying they don't work, but you don't need them if you're trying to build your body. Once you can do a pull-up, you don't need it. Being straight up. After that, try to progress to some dumbbell action. All right? I don't really do dumbbells because I'm at the barbell. The barbell is the superior movement if you're trying to get strong in a gym. Get on that barbell. Make it a goal to be able to use barbell movements. Vertical presses, barbell. Dumbbells are great if you're still doing vertical presses. You still want to do dumbbell shoulders, seated, whatever, that's fine. They do work. I'm not saying they don't work. Vertical presses with the barbell give you so much more strength. That's why you see guys doing 405 presses and 315 presses. And they still use barbells, dumbbells from time to time, but for the most part, they strictly stick to barbell movements. So once you get to those things and you get to those checkpoints, right? You get to those markers, your body, you'll visually see it in the mirror. Your body is really, really changing. And so I'm up to a 315 bench. Now I was just for 1 rep. So now the goal now will be, I want to say maybe 335 for 1. So now we got to work our way up past 315. We hit a goal sooner than we thought. We hit the 205. Now we hit 315. And so now we got to restructure our goals. We still got the 405 on the flat. I'm working the flat through decline, in case you guys haven't caught on to that. But I don't want you guys to think that I just ignore flat. I don't. I just avoid doing it until I have to. Because I'm very leery of the flat bench, because I know what it can do to your body. So, once again, thank you for the subscribers. We want to keep going into 2026. And I'm just grateful, man. I'm grateful. Grateful we got it done. I'm grateful we're still going. I really feel like this can work for me. Somebody with zero background in fitness, that I just believe that everything that I believe is true. It's happening. It's really beginning to happen. 315 bench, 335 bench, 355 bench, and now 315 incline. There's a lot of guys that will work out for their entire adult male lives in their 20s and 30s and 40s and will never get there. But if you subscribe to Sonic King Fit, I promise you will. Y'all subscribe to the channel, man. Drop a comment, drop a like, tell me what you liked about the video. And of course, I'm gonna put this video along with my entire workout together. And of course, I'll still put them out separate. And I want you guys to just enjoy it. Drop a comment, drop a like, tell me what you thought about it, how you feel about it. I'm grateful for your subscribers, man. Love you guys.